Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy KLA Cloud Wanderer about to give it to you once again. And yeah, I have this video I'm gonna do reviews and certain topics and stuff. And one of the topics, I want to pull up, it's about Scarlett Johansson possibly joining the Batman universe. Yeah, hold up. I gotta give it time. Okay, here we go. And you know, Scarlett Johansson is in talks to join the Batman 2. Who will she play? And Scarlett Johansson was a key part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for over a decade, but now the distinguished competition might have her join its ranks. The Oscar nominated actress is reportedly in talks to join The Batman Part 2, the sequel to Matt Reeves' 2022 standalone The Batman film, which is set for release on October 1st, 2027. Meanwhile, the DC Studios production is potentially losing a star in exchange, with Zoe Kravitz expected to sit out of the sequel. That's interesting. On December 3rd, Deadline reported Johansson was in final negotiations with DC Studios and Matt Reeves for an undisclosed role in The Batman Part 2. The same day, Variety reported from sources that Kravitz is not expected to reprise her part as Selina Kyle Catwoman for Part 2. Right now, it's anyone guess what part Johansson will have in Reeves' standalone Batman universe. Poison Ivy, Talia al Ghul, Andre Beaumont, aka the Phantasm, Killer Croc. Anyone from Batman Rogues Gallery is plausible, but whatever Johansson will play, she will be among the biggest injections of star power for a Batman film since arguably Ben Affleck. Between her Marvel movies and other box office giants like The Jungle Book, Sing, and Jurassic World Rebirth, Johansson has drawn about 15 billion in tickets. She also commands art house prestige, which hasn't wavered amid all her big budget projects. On the Kravitz front, the absence of her enigmatic Selina from Part 2 is a bummer, but Catwoman isn't in every Batman story. And if there's anyone in Batman stories who comes and goes as they please, it's her. Yeah, so that's the news that I'm getting, that Scarlett Johansson, it's gonna be Catwoman. I mean, not Catwoman, but she's gonna be in Batman Part 2. People don't know who she's gonna play. She might play Poison Ivy. I think that's a good look for her. I could see her as being Poison Ivy. You know, what's her name? Zoe Kravitz. She's not gonna be in the part. She's not gonna be in Part 2 of and a Batman. For some reason she don't want to be Catwoman. And I mean, I thought she was okay as Catwoman, but I mean, if somebody else got to be Catwoman, make it. I don't know. Maybe Scarlett Johansson could be Catwoman. I mean, she's a little bit older now, but I don't know. Maybe she could fit that part, but I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be nah, But then again, I think seeing her as Poison Ivy would be something interesting. So, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hit some videos, and I'm gonna this one, it's very interesting. So check it out.
I'm going to break down how much it actually costs to be a bodybuilder, because this is an extremely expensive sport. So I'm an OCB, which is natural bodybuilding. Now you have to pay for a yearly membership. This is $115 a year for amateurs, $180 a year for pros. Now you have to sign up for a show, which is $110, and any extra classes that you want to sign up for is another $60. So my first competition, I was in 4 different classes. So 110 plus 180. So $290 to do 4 classes. A personal trainer will be anywhere usually from $150 to $350 a month. Posing classes I think are like $80 a piece, or you can do a bundle of 5 for $370. Gym membership is like $51 a month. I spend about $150 a week on food, gas to get to the gym and back, or to my posing sessions, about $100. Shoes are $130. My suit was $387. Jewelry was $150. Now I got my hair done originally just to touch up highlights and stuff like that. That was $275. And then to get your hair done there was $120. If you want them to do your makeup, that's another $120. To get my nails done was $140. Tanning was $160. I got a massage beforehand so I could loosen up and get into those more difficult poses. You don't have to do if you don't want to, but that was $156. If you want them to take pictures of you, it's $80. If you want them to do a video, it's $110. Polygraph test is $60 in cash. I take a lot of supplements. I have creatine, Extend, a whole bunch of vitamins and supplements. It's $75 a week and just supplements. The hotel was $140. If you don't already have tanning sheets, you would need to buy them, and those are around $46. You also need black silk pajamas for when you go tanning, and that's $36. Now, some of those things were one-time payments, some of them on a monthly basis. Normally, prep is a 20-week long period. So with those costs, if I broke it down into the entire time, it cost me $8,729 to $9,729 to be a professional bodybuilder. And that's not guaranteed. So about $10,000. If you take out the food part, it's like $5,000 to $6,000. So if you're interested in doing the sport, just realize the costs add up really quickly.
Yeah, I was talking with this young lady. I didn't know she was paying. She spent all that money, to compete, man. And she does a natural. She do the OCB natural show. She just turned pro, and for her to compete, it's gonna pay $180. I don't know if I said the exact thing what she said, but it's a lot of money. And yeah, I mean, that's that. I mean, is the funny part is, a lot of people. There's people they kind of pay bodybuilding no mind, or they have no knowledge of bodybuilding, what some say. And the only way you'll see bodybuilding is you go to a stream or something to watch a show. And the sacrifices that a lot of these competitors do, especially the women, man, it's kind of sad a bit, because you got to spend all that money. You really got to want to do it. And I'm gonna play something else to equivalent to this.
It's an absolute honor to bring her voice to the Curiosity Exchange podcast. Welcome, the legendary Christine Envol. Thank you.
Well, thank you. That was quite an introduction.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, so my off-season biggest, I did manage to hit 220 pounds.
Wow.
Very briefly.
Okay.
I was not comfortable. So the first thing is, it wasn't to be bigger than my other competitors.
Okay.
Because I compete very much with myself, not with other people. And my thing was to have like the most muscle for the shape, for the condition.
Okay.
So I always wanted all three, because it was, you would get a lot of weird looks, particularly off of women with kids. I don't know, they used to think, I'm going to eat their children or something. They would like put their kids behind them, and it was stuff like that. I tended not to notice. My husband at the time, he would get offended on my behalf at times, but I'm like, whatever, like, it's like what it is. But
Yeah, so that was Christina Info at the Curiosity Podcast. Shout out to them. Yeah, I'm a tag them on this clip for this clip and stuff. I don't want to get no copyright, but what stood out for me on what she was saying. This was like a clips of what's gonna happen in the interview, but she was saying how women used to give her these uncomfortable looks. And a lot of women, especially if they're not bodybuilders, they kind of perceive, women bodybuilders as, something disgusting, In fact, the young lady that I played that video previous, that was talking about the expenses, I remember she shared when she used to see a picture of a woman bodybuilder, and she used to be disgusted. This was before she was bodybuilding, and then she's actually becoming a bodybuilder. But I mean, it's a different world, women bodybuilders, man. I mean, not just women bodybuilders, but bodybuilding in general. Trying to be a competitive bodybuilder, you have to spend all that money, especially for the women. I have another clip that I would like to play a bit.
My childhood was rocky, to say the least. When I was 2, my mom had a daughter, my sister. She passed away very quickly after birth. I had some that was taking place up there. I was left on my own at that point. I did get pregnant at 16. That's kind of where I was like, I need to figure out what I can do for myself to better myself and my son. And when I turned around 17, I had just had my son and I wanted to get back into some kind of athletics. So I started at the local gym and I ended up becoming friends very quickly with a pro bodybuilder, and he kind of took me under his wing, taught me everything he knew about bodybuilding. I took to the sport very quickly and fell in love with bodybuilding at that point. And I tore the ligament down my ankle, my foot gave out, broke my ankle, and tore 3 of the tendons in my foot. I was like, it's over. But it was a surreal moment and it lasted. I got my pro card this year, and that was just absolutely phenomenal to me. That is my happiest moment right now. Just come in, because it doesn't matter what your situation is. We're all here together. My name's Tina Rodriguez. I'm 43 and I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, shout out to her. I mean, I guess you have to want it. She said she tore her leg, and she still was training and stuff. So they say it's an extreme sport, and so I guess that was the extreme. I wish I would have played some of this in a discussion app, but we would I don't know, it was a little crazy on that night. So but I probably could hold on to it, and yeah, so it's another clip I'll play, but it's different.
I don't know if it counts sexually, but a dominatrix. You know why? I never really cared to do it until, tell me why. I had a coworker hit me one day. He would say a little thing. He was like, I want to be your bitch. And I'm like, oh, you're dead ass. Oh, okay. Okay, now what? He set deal for me. He was like, this much a month. Gas money for this. He's like, I just want you to be mean to me, blah blah blah. And I'm gonna be real with you. I think I wasn't doing it right, because I think they're blocking me. I don't feel scared, but
you wasn't dominating enough.
No, he wanted to rub my feet.
That's cool. That's nothing.
That's nothing.
If he said, "Come here, I want you to tie me up and kick me in the nuts."
That's scary. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Like, it's just one of the things that is so new to me. But
ask,
it's like, so key, I should try it. Like that. I'm scared.
When you do all that stuff, is actual sex involved?
No.
It's not at all.
They just want the humiliation. How do y'all, like, as men, how do y'all feel about men like that?
Well,
y'all look at them, do y'all look at them like, get up?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys out there that's really want to be dominated by women. You know, I remember I met a dominatrix and at this event, and I know I told this story before, probably if anybody was interested or cared, but you know, she brought a client at this event, and they was wearing a maid outfit and stuff, and yeah, so that was wild. I mean, there's guys that sissified, some guys like being pegged and stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of guys, they have these kinks, and you know, so they want to fulfill their desires. You know, could it be simpish? Yeah, I mean, it could be, yeah. Like, but I know it's something real private. Also, I'm gonna keep it real. There was a time I did see it. I did see a dominatrix. I ain't gonna go into detail, but yeah, yes. So moving on. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit. You know, it depends on the, you know, it's you know, you're curious. That's all I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna go in deep into it. I'm gonna leave that alone. But here's another topic.
So with a bigger platform comes a bigger responsibility, and I'm aware of that. And I want to use my voice for good, and I want to be forefront about who I am, what I am, and what I stand for. In recent days, I have gotten messages from what appears to be younger folks in their teens or so, expressing admiration for me, expressing that they are inspired by me and that they are pondering the idea of transitioning. They don't know if they're trans, they want to transition. And I just want to say, please take your sweet, precious time. There's no need to rush. The grass isn't greener on this side, okay? There is pros and cons to everything. Duality lives very much in everything. Although you may see a lot of your favorite trans content creators glamorize what it is to be trans, it's not very glamorous. Sure, there's some great pros that come with, you know, being a person who experiences gender dysphoria and undergoing a medical transition. There's a lot of pros to that, but there's also cons too. I can't sit here and say that I'm pro teens or even young adults making life-altering decisions that they can't go back and change. You know, a lot of things are irreversible. I feel like a lot of folk don't understand what it's like to put a synthetic hormone inside of your body, something that's not natural to you. I have dealt with a lot of mental health issues due to me being on estrogen. And although there are a lot of pros to like me making the decision that I've made to live my life in the ways in which I felt was more aligned with who I wanted to be, the cons are conning. Last year, you know, if I'm gonna keep it real, I was diagnosed with bipolar depressive disorder. I have noticed the changes in my moods and how now I experience depression, in which I never have before I even underwent a medical transition. There's cons to it. It's not all pro. It's not all positive. And it's a life-changing, forever decision. It's for the long haul. It's a journey, honey. It's a journey. So please take your time. You don't need to rush into it. You really don't need to fuck around and find out. Because again, the grass isn't always greener. Okay? And what glitters isn't always certainly gold or blue. Okay.
You know, shout out to this person. You know, I've been seeing them on Instagram, and I be listening to what they be saying, and you know, they keep it real. You know, they don't look, they let people know that they're a trans person, that they're trans, because they do look like a woman. I'm gonna keep it real. And yeah, there be guys that be trying to pull up on them and stuff. And there was one video where she had the camera and stuff. She was recording herself, and then this guy pull up on her, him, you know, and they said like, "Yo, I'm trans," and then he just left. But you know, they keep it real on things, and you know, them talking about the grass is not greener on the side. You know, I can respect that, what they saying, you know, because a lot of young kids are influenced to make that transition sometimes with their parents and stuff, and they're very influenced, and so, you know, and so this person is telling them like, look, the grass is not greener on the other side. You know, if you want to make that transition, you have to think it through thoroughly, and you know, take your time. You know, so I can respect that, man, because you know, I ain't gonna go deep into it. So, you know,
well balanced. When I saw him bedbound for the first time, couldn't get out the bed, couldn't go to the bathroom, I was hurt, you know, because I've been working with Gary for years, like, you know, helping him with these type of situations, and I was very upset that he had let himself go so far, you know, having all the support he's had throughout the years.
Pretty good, huh? The mac and cheese?
Mm-hmm. I'm 32 years old. I have a lot to offer to the world. I'm tired of being like this. If I don't stop eating, I'm gonna have a heart attack and die.
I'll say you dying. I mean, I mean, it's sad to look at that, you know. I mean, just sitting, you're just laying there and you're just eating and eating and eating. And that addiction is strong. And, you know, you don't even know why he's constantly doing that, you know. Just, you know, I think for me, you know, I think the most I've been overweight I was like 215 pounds. And, you know, it was because I was taking medication at the time, and, you know, I was away, and, you know, and I couldn't leave out the house where I was at. I couldn't leave the place where I was at. I was living in a group home at one point, and, you know, you couldn't leave out there and stuff. And yeah, and then but for me to lose the weight, I think I was playing basketball. Yeah, that's what made me lose the weight, you know. Now as a grown man, you know, you gotta be careful what you eat, and, you know, make the right choices and stuff. I got another clip about somebody talking about the percentage of Americans have obesity and stuff.
The average American is fatter than the average American pig now. It's true. It's true. Average American man, 28% body fat. Average American woman, 40% body fat. Average American pig, 15 to 25% body fat.
Oh my God.
If that's accurate, I don't know what to say. But then again, you shouldn't be surprised, because everywhere you look, you know, it's takeout food, you know, some McDonald's there close to you. So that is not a surprise. You know, I could see that. You know, I don't know if it's accurate, but I don't know who this person is, but he was on the Joe Rogan show. He was saying that. So I just got that clip, and yeah, you know, because you know they got a Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, it's a Chinese restaurant. You know, there's what McDonald's. Where you at? You know, Burger King sometimes. I mean, yeah, you know, and then don't forget the supermarkets, certain foods and stuff, cakes and all that type of stuff, and you know, you really gotta take care of your health, man, because you, yeah, because next thing you know, you getting you're being overweight and all that type of stuff. You gotta be careful what you consume, you know, and they put in foods in these chemicals, and you know, you get addicted by sweets and all that type of stuff. So just stay on your guard, people. Stay on your guard. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Yeah, till next time.